Here's an interesting quote worth our attention. Ralph Waldo Emerson said that every time you wink, the stars move. Every time you wink, the stars move. Now that's a very interesting thing to say, because what he is saying is that he is connecting the remotest action of our eyes to something spectacular in the universe. Every time you wink, the stars move. Now, I've been talking about fulfillment, and I've been talking about goal setting and strategically positioning ourselves to have the best decade that we've ever had since creation, or since we were born. And let me tell you this to balance the whole equation. You are going to face some down times in your pursuit of happiness, in your pursuit of your goals and your dreams. You're going to face some down times. And in today's podcast, I want to balance everything by teaching you how to handle those down times, those setbacks when they show up. As sure as the earth is rotating around the sun, they are gonna show up. So stay tuned and stay instructed.
Welcome to the Life Signatures podcast with Lawrence Namale. Lawrence is a life coach, author, and keynote speaker who loves to tackle different topics on purpose, productivity, and resilience. His mission in life is to awaken all your boundless possibilities available in you. Life Signatures podcast is dedicated to bring to reality every single person who knows that deep down in their gut, there's got to be more to life than this. And now, here is your host, Lawrence Namale.
I cannot always be a prophet that is prophesying good things all along. If you've lived long enough, even if you've lived for one day, you are well aware that one point in your life you're going to be God-smacked. You're going to be slapped right upside the head by life itself, by circumstances that just make you wonder why you should be alive in the first place or not. In other words, you're going to face a setback one day or another in your pursuit of the goals that you've already crafted, in the pursuit of the vision and the purpose that you already have in place. And that's why you and I have got to be prepared. How do we handle the down times? How do we handle the crisis? How do we handle the setbacks that we're going to be facing in our lives? As sure as the sun is out there today, the setbacks are coming. Maybe you're even smack in the middle of a setback right now. Maybe you're looking at an impossibility. Even as you listen to me, you're looking at an impossibility of how you're going to get the school fees, how you're going to get the capital, how you're going to pay this, how you're going to pay that, how you're going to... You don't even know what your next move is. That is a downtime. How we handle the downtime in relation to the dream, the goal, the vision, the purpose, the direction that we're taking in life is absolutely critical. We need to build a muscle that is able to be flexed every time we're facing these impossibilities. See, this message is for job seekers. This message is for hustlers. This message is for entrepreneurs, people who are facing setbacks in life, and those who are considering themselves generally stuck, generally out of options. By now, we all realize that the path to our destinies is not straight, it is not smooth, it is not paved. By now, we all know that there is a destination. Some of us know with absolute clarity where we are going, and others have no clue where they are going. Nevertheless, we all are hunters, either intentionally or unintentionally, and the path is not always straight, smooth, or paved. The greatest capital, friends, the greatest capital for success in life is not education. You can ask guys like Peter J. Daniels, whom I've talked about extensively in this podcast. The greatest capital we need for success is not money. You can ask the Wright brothers about that. The greatest capital we need for success is not connections, not ideas. It is not great teams and technology, but that which has always been there from the beginning. Breath. Breath. That is the greatest capital for success. This means that anyone, anywhere, for as long as they are healthy and they are free, and of course, they even those guys who are impaired and those guys who are imprisoned, they have proved this to be right. For as long as they are healthy and they are free and they are breathing, they can forge a life of success. Our experiences are different, but we're all united by one thing, one fact, one immutable fact. We all are going to face down times. But there is a great myth that normally goes around when a downtime comes, when a setback comes, when a crisis comes. And this is the myth. For those who know exactly what they are hunting for, those ones who know what they are looking for in life, the myth is always this, that they believe that all action that they are going to take in their lives should directly connect to the object of their intention. Okay, I put in something and I get out something. That is the greatest myth. In other words, when they are in a setback crisis, they think that they should do absolutely nothing, or anything that they are going to do is not going to contribute directly to what I want. I want money at the end of the day. And so if I go to visit someone, it must lead to money coming out of that action. That is the myth. They believe that all action taken must directly connect or be seen directly contributing towards the goal or the vision. So when we get stuck, we are not motivated enough to do anything save that which is directly connected to us getting closer to our intentions or our destinies. Chance, I can tell you, my friend, is an interesting thing. And this is what Solomon of old said. He said, I took another walk around the neighborhood and realized that on this earth, as it is, the race is not always to the swift, nor the battle to the strong, nor satisfaction to the wise, nor riches to the smart, nor grace to the learned. Sooner or later, bad luck hits us all. This life, my friend, I can tell you, there are very many things that have happened in matter of chances. Chance is an interesting thing. I read somewhere that Kellogg's, paper clips, sticky notes, gravity, and even laptop computers were all discovered by happenstance, by chance. No one had an intention for those things to come up. They were happenstance. They came about by chance. And here is a truth worth echoing throughout eternity. The activities that we are doing, the activities that are of no direct impact to our vision, are just as critical, as important as the activities that do. It is absolutely important for you to note that. Two reasons for me saying this. First, we are not God, and we have absolutely no idea how our indirect engagement, our indirect activities will turn out to be in the end. But God has this known ability to connect even the most unlikely of ambiguities and form a masterpiece, because He is God at the end of the day. And second, the reason as to why I'm saying those indirect and direct activities are as important as each other is that an inspired activity is 100% much better than an inactivity. So time and chance happens to all of us. So when we find ourselves encumbered by a crisis, by a setback, by a downtime, the most plausible thing to be found doing is something, even if it doesn't mean anything to the vision being pursued. there is a reason as to why I'm saying this, because let me tell you, it's a trap to find yourself steeped in inactivity because you have nothing else to do. That inactivity is going to chain you and is going to cause some despondency to start coming in your life, and the momentum you had in your spirit starts dying down to such an extent that even moving to do anything becomes so inconceivably difficult. Why? Because you have been used to inactivity. In the end, I assure you that the dots are going to connect when you are engaged in just about any activity that is not necessarily involving you being removed from the crisis that you are in. A downtime is simply a state in which we are incapacitated to directly contribute towards our activities and goals that are contributing to our biggest pursuit of vision. The simple example is this. Let's say you're a writer and you have this thing that these guys normally call a writer's block. You're supposed to deliver some X amount of words today, but you just cannot. You have two options. One, to do nothing about it. Two, to go and do something else apart from the writing that you're doing. And I can tell you that you doing something else is much more valuable than you doing nothing. You can go out there and start jogging. You can go out there and start talking to people and visiting with people and so on and so forth. Doing something, doing some kind of activity that is going to contribute. There are different types of these indirectly connected activities that you can be able to do. For example, you can start challenging your body, physical fitness. You can decide to challenge your mind, do crossword puzzles, play chess or whatever it is, do mind mapping. You can decide to challenge your sphere of relationships. Go and, put off your phone, put off your TV, put off every gadget and engage in a conversation with someone, a healthy conversation with someone. Okay, it's not connected to you writing the book. Maybe you can challenge your giving ability. What can I be able to give? You can be able to challenge your immediate environment. Just do something contributory, something that is not necessarily connected to what you're supposed to be doing, but it is an activity of value. The trap, my friend, in getting stuck is doing absolutely nothing. It sends signals. I've talked about this thing called apoptosis very many times. It sends signals in your brain that your body parts are no longer needed and you start disintegrating. That is how death normally comes. That's why some guys, when they have no job, maybe they have retired, few years down the line, they are dead and buried. Physically dead and buried and gone in reality. Why? Because of inactivity. So don't ever get to that level where you are stuck, but you also decide to get stuck and you cannot do anything. There is always going to be an option. You're always going to have an option in something that you can do. It doesn't have to lead to a breakthrough. But as long as it is an activity, as long as the brain is being engaged, the heart is being engaged, the spirit is being engaged, the body is being engaged, as long as the mind is being engaged, do something. Don't be stuck proper. So here is the secret in having indirect engagements in our meantime. We need to be intentional and we need to be urgent. And let me explain those two things. If we are not going to be intentional, nothing is not going to move. It means that we are deliberately sitting down and we are deciding to have time and place where activities are going to take place. If you do not have those two things, a time and a place, nothing is going to happen. It also means that you have set aside the length of time, the duration of time towards which you will be engaged in a particular activity. It also means that you will have a general goal towards which you are doing these activities. It is towards something. You're not just doing the activities for the sake of doing the activities. It also means that you'll be deliberately tracking on a daily basis what each activity means, what each activity is going to do. The second thing that is going to be important is momentum. This is your friend. It enables your mind to be freed from the rut of being stuck. The only biggest fight you have to win in your life, it is the fight for momentum. It is the fight for consistency. You find this so easy to do if you have the ground of being intentional, the foundation of being intentional. See, engagement is a battle of discipline, and the opponent is always going to be yourself. You win this battle, you are worth more than a degree, worth more than connections, worth more than ideas, worth more than capital itself. For if you had all these other things in place and you lacked consistency, you lacked momentum, success is going to be elusive. This is a true story. You can take it to any bank. But finally, you need to have this aspect of urgency. It means that you give 100% to every activity that you've set aside. I read somewhere where a guy was saying that you have three options. Either you give in, you give up, or you give all you've got. And this is what urgency to me means. When you are reading, the TV is off, the phones are off, social media is off. You see, you get the point. As in 100% oxidation. It also means that all the activities that might interrupt are themselves scheduled, they are set aside, they are prioritized. In this way, they will not interfere with your work at all. So here is a summary of the whole thing. 1. The starting point is knowing with clarity where you are headed in life. And the most basic requirement that qualifies everybody for this is to breathe. Number 3, a downtime is simply a state in which you are incapacitated to directly contribute towards your activities and goals that directly connect to your biggest pursuit or vision. And number 4, we are going to face downtimes and setbacks at one point in our lives, all of us. But then, the greatest myth is that all you do must be directly connected to contributing to the overall goal. That is wrong. It is prudent to plan indirect activities, to engage in and to grow during your moments of setbacks. The activities that are of no direct impact into our vision are just as important as those ones that do. But then God has a way of connecting those meaningless quote-unquote activities that we're doing to form a masterpiece, to merge into the whole overall picture that we are pursuing. And therefore, engagement is a battle of discipline, and the opponent is the self. You conquer the self, you've conquered this thing. Until tomorrow, I wish you all the best in this new decade and in the new year. Bye-bye. A special shout out to my mentor Jeffrey Howard of Visionary Business University, found at mastermindmentor.com, who has graciously provided me with the soundtrack and the introductory track to this podcast. Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you for listening to Life Signatures Radio. If you enjoyed today's show, subscribe to Life Signatures Radio on iTunes, Stitcher, or visit our website at lifesignatures.libsyn.com. Life Signatures Radio, fresh, clean, and inspiring.